Useful vocabulary words for the IELTS exam day 16. 1. Rudimentary. Rudimentary means basic, fundamental, or elementary. It refers to something that is in a very early or undeveloped stage. The new employee only had a rudimentary understanding of the company's accounting software, as they had just started using it. The artist's early sketches were quite rudimentary, but they provided a solid foundation for the final, more detailed painting. In the rudimentary stages of the project, the team focused on establishing the core requirements before diving into the more complex aspects. The new students' rudimentary knowledge of the language made it difficult for them to fully participate in the class discussions. The machine had a rudimentary design, with only the most essential features and functionalities included. 2. Ruminate. To ruminate means to think deeply and carefully about something, often in a meditative or contemplative way. The philosopher sat in his armchair, ruminating on the nature of consciousness and the mysteries of the universe. After the big decision, she spent the evening ruminating on the potential consequences and whether she had made the right choice. The student ruminated on the professor's lecture, trying to fully understand the complex theories that had been presented. As he walked through the garden, the old man ruminated on the memories of his youth and how much the world had changed. The team leader asked the group to take some time to ruminate on the project plan and provide feedback the next day. 3. Sagacious. Sagacious means having or showing keen judgment, discernment, and perspicacity. It suggests wisdom, insightfulness, and the ability to make sound decisions. The sagacious CEO was able to anticipate market trends and make strategic decisions that kept the company ahead of the competition. The sagacious detective carefully examined all the evidence and made a series of insightful deductions that led to the arrest of the suspect. The sagacious professor provided valuable feedback that helped the student refine their research and strengthen their academic paper. The sagacious elder in the community was known for offering wise counsel and guidance to those seeking advice. After carefully ruminating on the complex issue, the sagacious policymaker proposed a solution that balanced the competing interests with foresight and prudence. 4. Salient. Salient means prominent, important, or conspicuous. It refers to something that stands out or is particularly noticeable or significant. The salient feature of the architectural design was the large, sweeping glass facade that provided panoramic views of the cityscape. In the biography, the salient details of the historical figure's life were highlighted, shedding light on the key events and decisions that shaped their legacy. The salient argument made by the defense lawyer during the trial was that the prosecution's evidence was circumstantial and lacked concrete proof of the defendant's guilt. One of the most salient consequences of the new legislation was the significant increase in funding for public education programs. The salient points discussed during the strategy meeting were the need to expand into new markets and the importance of improving the company's customer service. 5. Sanguine. Sanguine means having or showing a cheerful, optimistic, or positive outlook. It suggests a confident, hopeful, and relatively carefree demeanor. Despite the challenges facing the company, the sanguine CEO remained confident that they would overcome the obstacles and emerge stronger than ever. The sanguine attitude of the team members helped maintain a positive and productive work environment during the stressful project deadline. The sanguine nature of the young entrepreneur was evident in their unwavering belief that their new business venture would be a great success. Even in the face of setbacks, the sanguine coach continued to encourage the players, motivating them to keep a positive mindset and work towards their goals. The sanguine painter approached each new canvas with a sense of excitement and optimism, confident in their ability to create a beautiful and inspiring work of art. 6. Sanguinary. Sanguinary means excessively bloody or violent, involving or causing much bloodshed. The sanguinary battle between the two rival gangs left the streets littered with broken glass, discarded weapons, and pools of blood. The sanguinary nature of the military coup was evident in the reports of the widespread torture, imprisonment, and execution of political dissidents. The sanguinary scenes depicted in the historical war film were a stark and unflinching portrayal of the horrors of combat. The sanguinary crackdown by the authoritarian government on the peaceful protesters sparked outrage and condemnation from the international community. Despite the sanguinary reputation of the organized crime syndicate, the police were determined to dismantle the group and bring its members to justice. 7. Sardonic. Sardonic means dryly or cynically humorous, sarcastic or mocking in a bitter or scornful manner. The sardonic tone of the movie critics' review left no doubt about their disdain for the poorly executed film. With a sardonic smile, the seasoned politician brushed off the accusations of corruption, dismissing them as baseless political attacks. The sardonic comments made by the teenager during the family gathering were met with uncomfortable silence, as the adult struggled to find an appropriate response. Despite the gravity of the situation, the sardonic war correspondent maintained a detached and wry sense of humor in their reporting from the front lines. The sardonic nature of the stand-up comedian's jokes often pushed the boundaries of good taste, but their sharp wit and biting social commentary resonated with the audience. 8. Sartorial. Sartorial means relating to or concerning tailoring, clothing, or fashion. The fashion icon's sartorial choices were always impeccable, as they effortlessly blended the latest trends with classic, timeless style. The sartorial elegance of the event attendees was on full display, with guests arriving in their finest formal attire. The new collection from the renowned sartorial designer featured a range of exquisitely crafted suits and gowns that showcased their exceptional tailoring skills. As the CEO, she maintained a sartorial standard in the office, always dressing professionally and setting an example for the rest of the team. The sartorial transformation of the character in the film was a key element of their character development, as their clothing choices reflected their evolving sense of self. 9. Saturnine. Saturnine means having a gloomy, morose, or surly temperament. It suggests a dark, melancholic, or cynical disposition. The saturnine nature of the renowned artist was evident in the brooding, somber tones that dominated their paintings. Despite the festive atmosphere, the saturnine demeanor of the party guest cast a pall over the proceedings, dampening the mood of those around them. The saturnine professor's lectures were known for their dry, cynical wit and lack of enthusiasm, which often left students feeling disengaged. With a saturnine expression, the seasoned detective reviewed the crime scene, his mind already working through the grim details of the case. The saturnine novelist's latest work was a bleak, introspective exploration of the human condition, delving into the depths of despair and existential angst. 10. Scintillating. Scintillating means brilliantly and excitingly clever or talented. It suggests something that is sparkling, brilliant, and intellectually stimulating. The keynote speaker at the conference delivered a scintillating presentation that captivated the audience with their insightful analysis and dynamic delivery. The scintillating wit and sharp-tongued humor of the stand-up comedian had the crowd in stitches throughout the entire performance. The scintillating dialogue in the critically acclaimed play was praised for its depth, nuance, and ability to provoke deep contemplation. The scintillating performance of the virtuoso pianist left the audience in awe, marveling at the sheer technical mastery and emotional expression. The scintillating ideas presented in the research paper were the product of the scholar's keen intellect and innovative thinking, pushing the boundaries of the field. 11. Confound. Confound means to bewilder, puzzle, or perplex. It suggests a state of being confused, perplexed, or unable to comprehend something. The complex mathematical proof confounded the students, who struggled to follow the intricate logic and steps involved. The unexpected plot twist in the movie completely confounded the audience, who were left scratching their heads trying to make sense of the surprising turn of events. The archaeologist was confounded by the discovery of the ancient artifacts, as they did not fit the established timeline or cultural narratives. The CEO's decision to radically restructure the company's operations confounded the senior management team, who were unsure how to implement the sweeping changes. The contradictory statements from the politician confounded the journalists, who were unable to reconcile the discrepancies and get a clear understanding of the situation. 12. Connoisseur. A connoisseur is an expert judge in matters of taste, especially in the fine arts, cuisine, or other sophisticated fields. They have a refined, discerning, and discriminating appreciation for something. As a renowned wine connoisseur, the sommelier could instantly identify the grape varietal, vintage, and region of any wine simply by its aroma and taste. The art connoisseur strolled through the gallery, pausing thoughtfully before each painting and offering insightful commentary on the techniques and artistic merits. The culinary connoisseur delicately savored each bite of the meticulously plated dish, appreciating the complex flavors, textures, and presentation. The music connoisseur's vast knowledge of classical compositions and discerning ear allowed them to detect the slightest nuances in the orchestra's performance. The fashion connoisseur had an eye for the latest trends and an impeccable sense of style, always dressed in the most sophisticated and cutting-edge designer pieces. 13. Delineate. To delineate means to describe or portray something precisely and in detail, outlining its shape, form, or characteristics clearly. The architect's drawings delineated the intricate design of the new building, showcasing every meticulous detail and structural element. The historian's book delineated the key events and pivotal moments that shaped the course of the war, providing a comprehensive and authoritative account. The nature documentary delineated the unique behavioral patterns and physical characteristics of the endangered species, educating viewers on the importance of conservation efforts. The court's ruling delineated the specific legal standards and criteria that must be met for a person to be considered mentally incompetent. The market research report delineated the target demographics' purchasing habits, preferences, and pain points, allowing the company to develop a more effective marketing strategy. 14. Demarcate. To demarcate means to establish or indicate the limits or boundaries of something, usually in a clear or formal way. The surveyors carefully demarcated the property lines, ensuring there was no confusion or dispute over the boundaries between the neighboring landowners. The new legislation clearly demarcated the roles and responsibilities of the different government agencies, avoiding overlap and promoting efficient coordination. The organizers of the music festival demarcated the various performance stages and vendor areas with clear signage to help attendees navigate the grounds. The park rangers demarcated the hiking trails and camping zones within the wilderness area to protect the fragile ecosystem and ensure visitor safety. The committee's charter demarcated the scope of their investigative powers, outlining the specific issues they were authorized to examine. 15. Denouement. The denouement is the final part of a play, film, or narrative in which the strands of the plot are drawn together and matters are explained or resolved. In the denouement of the novel, the protagonist's motivations were finally revealed, providing a satisfying conclusion to the complex web of intrigue that had unfolded throughout the story. The denouement of the Shakespearean tragedy featured a dramatic and tragic resolution, with the deaths of multiple main characters bringing the play to a poignant and impactful close. The denouement of the spy thriller culminated in a thrilling chase sequence that exposed the mastermind behind the global conspiracy, tying up all the loose ends. The denouement of the film saw the long-lost lovers reunited, providing a heartwarming and emotionally resonant conclusion to their turbulent journey. The denouement of the political drama laid bare the corruption and scandal that had been hidden from the public, leading to the downfall of the once powerful leaders.